Hello, everybody. This is the first podcast for Bread and Burgers. This is our first foray into a podcast. We're going to talk about burgers. It's going to be interesting, but it's going to be an experiment that we're trying. So let's see how this works. My name is Jonathan,
And I'm Jonas.
and we are just two people who love burgers, but we'll get into that a little bit. Hey, Jonas, let me ask you, kind of introduce yourself. Who are you?
Sure. I am currently out in central Massachusetts, and I am serving as a youth and children's minister. And my love of burgers has gone back for a very long time, as far as I can remember. I
So,
formerly had a blog. Yeah.
what is a very long time?
I would say probably for at least the past like 15 years.
15 years. Ooh.
I really got into it maybe closer to like 10 years ago when I really started thinking about how much I love burgers. And for a good like 4 or 5 years, I don't remember exactly how long, I maintained a blog called The Burger Snob, on which I essentially rated almost every single burger I ate. I think there
So
are.
so it was more of like Internet 2.0.
Sure. It was just something I thought was I was kind of really into back then, as well as both just kind of like finding out what makes a good burger, as well as like learning how to make a good burger. And so most of my friends, they thought of me as kind of the burger guy.
Yeah,
They
I thought
thought,
of you as a burger guy too. I thought
sure.
I thought like, wow, like, hey, I saw your blog. I'm like, this guy must know his burger. So every time I ask, like, hey, what's a good burger in like the Bay Area? So, um, and you would give me recommendations, right?
Yeah, I think I have I feel like I'm not like a typical, I guess, burger guy, which so I I often take kind of more unconventional takes, and so I think it's a different perspective. I like to think, you know, maybe I'm thinking overthinking kind of what goes into a burger, but I kind of feel like it's a very underappreciated food, particularly for me growing up. My parents aren't big on burgers, and so they just always thought like when we said burgers at home, it was usually like either McDonald's or some really weird sort of like Chinese knockoff
Oh, that's
barbecue
gonna be
kind of
interesting.
thing.
But I guess you're jumping ahead right now, Jonas, since this is
Sure,
going to be
sure.
like, I think every one of that is going to be a topic. Like, hey, what about burgers? McDonald's. What about the unconventional things that you put into burgers? All of these things. Hopefully it's going to be a future episode. Um,
Sure.
so yeah, this is going to be interesting. I
Definitely.
I guess maybe I can go into who I am.
Yeah.
So I'm Jonathan. I'm actually in San Francisco Bay Area, currently living in Castro Valley right now, and I am a church planter. Now, what does that mean, right? It's just think of it as a startup guy that's creating a company that's not going to make money. I think that's really exactly who I am.
Sure.
And
Sounds about
but
right.
yeah, pretty much. But for myself, in terms of burgers, I wouldn't say I'm a burger connoisseur. Just a general foodie overall. Sometimes on Instagram, if you get to follow, you'll see that I cook. I did a prefix for my wife and my kids, for Valentine's Day. Just general kind of foodie, or a pretend foodie. Nothing fancy, no Michelin stars or anything like that. But really, just like to think about the more delicate, or what constitutes a certain food type, or what makes it a good such and such, like what makes a good burger, So I would consider myself kind of like that, a pretend foodie, if you will.
Sure, and I think from my perspective, just being very engrossed in kind of like the burger world, it's good to get kind of an alternative perspective, right? And there's a lot of things that maybe the way I'm approaching it is not, and you'll look at it kind of differently, and I think that'll be a pretty interesting look and take on what we're talking about.
Alternative perspective, I like that. Maybe like alt facts or something. Alt truth. No, just kidding. So anyway,
Sure,
maybe we'll
sure.
get into that, in
You
this
can be the
podcast
alt
series.
rock of burger connoisseurism.
Yeah. But I gotta ask. Well, you kind of touched on that a little bit. Why burgers, though?
For me, I think burgers are they're a very versatile food in a certain sense. I kind of grew on burgers. Actually, the reason I became really big on burgers is actually because of a like an icebreaker question that someone asked me. We were going around, we were sharing, and one of the questions that was asked is, "What is your favorite food?" And um, you know, I like a lot of different types of food. I like cooking. I like going out to um, I like steaks, I like sushi, like all the different kind of normal things. But then I really thought about like what is something like I could eat consistently and almost never get sick of. And I thought of it
Oh,
and I thought ultimately it's like when I boiled it down, it's a burger. And that was when I really started getting into like, okay, like really thinking about how versatile can a burger be, um, and and can we kind of right break it a little bit? Not to say that I'm all for these like $200 Vegas gourmet burgers, but
which might be pretty
can
tasty.
we right? But can we break it out of that like oh here's like a hockey puck in like two pieces of white bread in like wax paper kind of thing.
Okay, okay. So that's kind of why burgers. Well, yeah, and I think really, for me, why burgers or why even this podcast exists is, um, I think we don't give burgers enough credit, right? Um,
Sure.
and what is a burger, or which we'll get into that today. But like what is it? What kind of burger that people like? Is do we equate burgers with just like McDonald's or Jack in the Box or maybe the square ones from Wendy's? Like we always just think about burgers as fast food items, but as you said, like there are chefs that dive into ridiculous amount of money, like expensive burgers like Wagyu or like habanero filled. I've seen quite a bit. So burgers is very versatile, I think, and it's probably something that we're all familiar with.
And I also think it's very accessible, right? Like
Hmm.
everyone, you can kind of go anywhere and you'll find a burger. Um, and it's kind of like the quintessential American cuisine, almost.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, well, I was born in Hong Kong, and in the '80s, and growing up in the '90s, and then my entire family moved here uh, right around 1994. Well, I mean, back then I had burgers too, but again, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Jonas, like you. Um, Burgers meant McDonald's. Really, only McDonald's. Hardee's actually was a big thing back in the day, but they also did like rice bowls and stuff like that. So they're not really burgers.
Sure.
And so, really getting into an American burger, a juicy American burger, is probably when I was here, growing up, and really appreciating that different things can be in a burger. Um, and my love for burgers, I think really escalated when I started when I started like grinding my own meats and making my own patties, like just figuring out like how burgers are made, and truthfully, like this past year, I've been, I think I've have a growing appreciation of what a burger is.
Definitely sounds awesome. Yeah, when you go through and you make that difference, and you just kind of put a little time and effort to it, like it's a very it's just actually very like it's a very satisfying like experience, not only from the making, but also just eating it and consuming it. During that iceberg, I had a friend come up to me and he said, "Jonas, I thought you were kind of a foodie. I'm really surprised your favorite food is burgers,"
Oh,
which
oh,
kind of reiterates that sort of that stigma, or that sort of perception of burger being kind of like cheap, no frills kind of fast food. But then had the opportunity to go over to his house, and I was like, I'll make you some burgers. And I made him burgers. And after he had it, he's like, now I know why your favorite food is burgers. So, hopefully
you got a convert.
I did. And so
Wow.
I'm hoping, through this conversation, like we can help promote the love of burgers and good burgers.
I mean, we're also both like, Christian, maybe Christian fanatics, some people will say, but,
Sure.
like promoting the love of Jesus. But, like we can also promote the love of burgers too.
Sure. I mean, I think there are some parallels to be had,
Whoa,
not
whoa.
between burgers and
Okay.
Jesus, but between the promoting thing.
Well, hopefully we'll get into that. I think kind of from this little intro, we can all see what to expect in this podcast, and what I have on my notes here is that what to expect in the future. What is in the future of this bread and burgers podcast. What do you think, Jonas?
Huh. I think I kind of just want this to be like a conversation, right? Like stuff that's going on. Certainly, we have the theme of burgers in here, and I definitely think that there is more content than people probably expect to be found in burgers themselves. But also, I think it's just a good opportunity, using kind of burgers as a jumping off point,
For randomness.
helps us kind of, yeah, we get into, we can talk about more random stuff, or even just kind of jumping into like, hey, like stuff that's going on, or just how we look at things, because I think
The coronavirus
that's kind
burger.
of a big part of that's part of kind of a big part of like what we're talking about, right? We're trying to shape the perception of burgers, or just giving people a different perspective on it. And certainly I think that can kind of be applied to other aspects of life as well. I mean, what are
Well,
you kind of hoping to get into with this podcast?
so obviously Jonas is very very meta. I mean, talking about life from burgers. I was just gonna say, like, ketchup or no ketchup, sesame bun or no sesame bun, or what about alternative buns, or and we'll get into that. True, but yeah, I maybe burgers is just a jumping off point or a launching point, but also I think it's important. It's American staple, and hopefully in the future we get to talk about different types of burgers, or different burgers in different regions, your local favorite fast food chains, or maybe are they even fast food, things that matter to us every day, or at least we get to see every day, and or maybe we don't think about. But yeah, maybe just talking about something as simple as burgers can allow us to think about things that are seemingly simple but can be like very complex if you put your mind to it. Maybe like that. Is that too meta?
Yeah, no, I like it.
Yeah, but definitely we'll stick to the burgers and mix-ins and lettuce wrap and all that.
I
So
mean, you're treading some dangerous ground there, but sure.
okay. See, okay, there's some disagreement here, but we're okay. Um, I'm fine with that. It's okay. I'm okay to. Well, wait. No. What is it? It's okay to be not okay. No, 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 not that one. Um, I agree to disagree. That there we go.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna come off kind of strong on burgers, but at the same time, I don't want anyone to kind of feel like this is definitively the right burger. Like I know people, like I know for example, I disagree a lot with some of say like Bon Appetit Pro Test Kitchen chefs
Oh,
takes
that would
on
be
burgers.
interesting. We can dive into that one.
So it's and so everyone's gonna like something kind of a little different, and this is just kind of my take, and just kind of how I approach burgers. And so if I kind of rag on a place that you guys really like, we can agree to disagree.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, well, so I think here's the thing. So in order for us to really talk about burgers and all that, what are the proper ways to eat a burger or what goes into a burger? I think we have to start here, and this is our first main theme or major topic of the day is like the foundation of it all. So what is a burger? What is a burger? I'm gonna
It's a
throw it to you.
question for the ages.
Yeah, like how do you define a burger? Like, what does it mean when someone says a burger, right?
Right, because I was thinking about this, and realistically, it's kind of hard to deconstruct a burger and still have it be a burger.
This is such a
Do you know what I mean?
postmodernist thing. We're talking about deconstruction here, like deconstructing what a burger actually is, the essence of it, right?
Right, but if you kind of take each part individually, it's hard to say like is this a burger or not, right?
Come
And
on,
so let
Jonas.
me give
Let's
you a
let.
few examples.
Okay, fine, fine, fine. Go.
So one of the things would be like I've heard people say basically if it's on what we would colloquially call a hamburger roll, right,
Whoa.
or a
Okay.
bun,
Okay. Okay.
it is a burger. So by that argument, Chick-fil-A is a burger, which I don't really agree with.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like
say
I,
that.
I
It's a chicken burger, a burger, but we'll get to
So
that.
to me, if you were to make a chicken burger, right, there is a difference between a chicken burger and a chicken sandwich. And to me, a chicken burger isn't something I ever really crave because I never really crave ground chicken.
Okay.
And that to me would be a chicken burger. So then there's the ground meat aspect of it, but it's not just the ground meat because then, we could be talking about like meatballs, Salisbury steaks, or like is a Loco Moco essentially a deconstructed burger?
Okay.
For those of you that
Okay.
don't know, Loco Moco is a Hawaiian dish with two hamburger patties on top of rice with gravy and egg.
That's a dish.
It is a dish.
It's a ground beef dish.
So yeah, so in that sense it's this combination of things. So what I guess we would have to distill like what exactly are the essential components of a burger?
All right, all right, all right. I don't know about Jonas, and he's gonna continue to go on this rant about like the essence of what constitutes a burger. I'm just gonna say that it's gonna be a bun with
Sure.
um a patty of meat. Let's start
I
there.
would actually
Let's start there.
specify ground meat.
Okay, fine. Ground meat. What kind of meat though?
Okay?
Okay,
At the end of
is
the
ground
day,
turkey okay? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, here's my take. I think at the end of the day, it's usually trying to simulate beef. So I'll say the best burger to me is always going to be a beef patty,
okay.
but I'm not going to say a turkey burger is not a burger or a veggie burger is not a burger, though I might be pushing some lines there.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna get there. Like Impossible, or maybe Beyond. I wonder if you would say those are burgers too. But let's hold off on that just a little bit. We'll talk about it today.
Sure.
But okay. So bread
Mm-hmm.
and ground meat patty not necessarily ground beef.
Sure.
Is that it? I mean, like, and would, like, let's say
Let
one
me ask you
patty.
this.
Okay.
How important to you is it for the burger to be handheld?
Ooh. Not very.
Like if you absolutely have to fork and knife it, is it still really a burger? So like say like an open faced chili
I would
thing.
say that's a burger, right? I mean, like, yeah, I
Okay.
mean, yeah, like, I think, but here's my take, right? I think, yeah, ground meat. You know, I'm not gonna say what kind of meat yet, but ground meat with a burger bun or a bread on the bottom, and at least try to have a bun on top, right? Yeah, open face burgers with chili or egg or avocado or whatever. You know, you might not have a bun on top that or sits properly on top, but at least you tried. You know, that to me constitutes a burger.
Okay. Are you adamant about the bun?
I like the bun. I think it's an
So
important
my
part of the
question
burger.
is right, but my question is how like what kind does it have to have that kind of like bun structure?
Well, I mean, if
So
you do like a two pieces of like sliced white bread, then no, that's not a burger, right? Or even if let's say
okay.
you do a English muffin, then no, that's not a burger either. So yeah, I would say something that resembles a bun. Now, there's a you know, there's a lot of leeway there. There's, like, you know, wiggle room there, right? Like King
Sure.
Hawaiian roll or potato bread or you know, brioche or something. Like a lot of these like differences. You know, pretzel bun. That's okay too. But yeah, some breads are
You
not
kind of want
okay.
that
Like a
dome
Dutch crunch,
structure, right?
probably not okay.
Right.
Not just
But
that though. I
what I'm
mean, like
hearing
it's
from
a
all right,
yeah,
I'm
dome
gonna throw
structure.
two names out here, right? And then
Okay.
I wanna hear your take on this. Um, Mossburger. Those of you that don't know Mossburger, Moss is an international chain, big in East Asia. I had it when I was in Taiwan, and their thing is because they form the buns out of rice, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So is the shape kind of okay for you? That's still kind of burger
It's borderline.
ish.
Yeah, I mean it
It's
is.
borderline.
Yeah, so Moss Burger it is also in Hong Kong, or it was in Hong Kong. I didn't see it this time. Um, and there's also Koja Kitchen that's based in Berkeley,
Right.
California.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
well, okay. Well, I'm pushing it because they're not doing a burger. I mean, they have like sliced meat in the middle, kind of like a rice patty Philly cheesesteak, if you will. But anyway, but yeah,
Sure.
they're kind of a, you know, they have
So
rice
that's
patty
borderline for
bun.
you,
That's borderline for me.
right? Okay. So, but like an egg McMuffin, definitely not a burger.
Yeah, it's a breakfast sandwich.
Okay. Have you've been to the Habit, right?
Yeah, yeah. Habit, you know, a
Santa Barbara style,
local California chain. You know.
right? You know, there I love the Habit. So the question for me in the Habit that's the borderline, right? And so we're getting into like, okay, the bread, is it, you know, there's this kind of almost this je ne sais
Mm.
quoi, like I don't know, intangible aspect of like the bread has to be kind of bun like. But so in that sense, right, would you consider a patty melt or something like the Santa Barbara style a burger?
It's sold in the burger joint,
Sure.
and yeah. I
I mean,
mean,
arguably, so is an egg McMuffin.
oh wow, wow. You're right. Okay. Well, yeah. It's hard. I mean, like to me, when I think of a burger, immediately I think, you know, burger patty, a bit of mix-ins, and you know, a bun flanking the top and the bottom kind of thing. That's really what I think of. Now, again, I'm shooting myself in the foot with the whole chili burger thing, but yeah, I think that's so. here's my take, right? You have a brick wall,
Mm-hmm.
and you can take out some bricks, but if you take out all the bricks, the wall's gonna fall. So you take out some bricks, the wall still stays intact, right? So yeah, like if you have a bun and then the meat is different, like let's say a bean patty, a fish patty, maybe that's considered a burger because you still have that shape, that form of a burger. Now, if you have just the patty with lettuce wrap, I don't know. I don't know if that's taking out too many bricks in the wall. But I'm gonna throw it back to you. This is hard.
Okay.
Burger. I mean, don't go meta. Like, tell me what's in a burger.
Like, so I think there's a spectrum, right? We're realizing there's a kind of almost a burger spectrum. And there are things that are probably closer to burger than not burger. And I think from my perspective, if we were to like really, really simplify and just say like, when I think of a burger, I'm thinking of this, right? It would ultimately be something kind of like, and I'm not saying this is like the gold standard of burgers, but just kind of like the stock photo
Just say
of
it.
burgers, it would be kind of like a
Just
Whopper,
say it.
right?
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So like a sesame bun,
I
patty,
mean,
some mix-ins.
like to me, the bun, whether or not you have sesame or an onion bun, like that sort of thing, but like just that sort of shape, right? If you want to go even simpler, it would be like McDonald's hamburger or cheeseburger, right?
Some people consider that not food. So
right, but at its core, that's kind of like where we're at with like, is it more like that in terms of like that's a burger, right?
okay. Okay. So you kind
As
of have
opposed to
a baseline definition of like it should look like the Whopper.
I mean, I think that's a pretty almost kind of ubiquitous image, right? Like something Whopper like, right? Like you're thinking bun, or maybe even just something you would make at like a 4th of July barbecue in
Okay,
like a
so
movie
now
you would see,
let me
right?
ask you
So
this. Let me ask you this. Philly cheesesteak, burger no
no,
burger.
no,
Well,
not a
okay,
burger.
so Philly cheesesteak, meat and cheese, but on a burger bun.
You mean Arby's?
Yeah, yeah. Again,
Yeah, I
another
don't really
like local
consider that a
chain.
burger.
Okay, so that's like a
Right, like
sandwich.
to me that's as about as big as a pivot. Like Arby's is about as big of a pivot as Chick-fil-A.
Okay, okay. Well, I mean Chick-fil-A is like, well, that's a chicken sandwich to me, but okay,
Right,
so what
Arby's is a
about
roast beef sandwich to
ground
me.
turkey burger? Okay, roast beef sandwich. Okay, so what about ground turkey burger?
It is a burger. Like I would call it a burger. I wouldn't necessarily say like it's my burger of choice. So to get to where I think we're going here is like, yeah, would I call a Beyond Burger a burger? Yes. Would I call it a good burger in my opinion? Probably not.
I don't know. We can do a blind taste test, the Pepsi challenge or something, I mean, yeah, Beyond Burger, or I mean, you talked about Whopper, so I guess the next logical jump is the Impossible Burger. I've had it. It was good. It looked like a
Sure.
burger. It tastes like, so if it
Sure.
walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, right? So it was
Yeah, no,
good.
definitely would call it a burger, right? I would definitely call it a burger. I just like it's a matter of kind of gradient almost. We're in the spectrum, right? And to me, it can be good. It can probably be better than some beef burgers I've had, but it will never, right? The very best beef burger, I think, will always be better than the very best alternative meat
The
burger,
Wagyu
alternative
black
protein
truffle
burger.
sauce burger or something. I don't know.
I don't know if I do truffles. That feels a little
Ah, okay.
ostentatious,
See,
but
now. See, hopefully, next episode we probably should do mix-ins. But yeah, okay, fine. Okay. So let's see. Impossible. That's a burger. I would say this. Yeah. Let's say we have this, arbitrary wall that defines a burger. It seems like it's not just like one solid definition. A mixture of different parameters or attributes make up what constitutes a burger. But if you take too many of the bricks out of that wall, then it suddenly becomes a sandwich, or a sandwich really. Because I said, I guess if you define what a sandwich is, a burger kind of falls into that sandwich category, but a sandwich might not necessarily be a burger. Is that fair?
100% agree.
Okay.
That is totally. I agree with that 100%. Let me ask you this, because I just kind of thought of it. How important is the shape?
Well, as I said, the chili burger, there's no shape to it, right? I mean, it kind of looks like a burger, but then the bun's on the side, maybe tilted, Then,
Right. No, but I don't mean the shape from like a crosswise. I mean, like, does it have to be round?
well, I mean, Wendy's have square meat, so.
Right, but the burger itself is still essentially round, right? The bun is round.
Yeah,
They're not using
I
sandwich
get what you're
bread.
saying. Like, I mean, if, for example, if someone made okay, so I can think of something right now, but for example, if someone, made a burger bun that is square, then no, it's not a burger, right? It's kind of a sandwich.
Sure. Like, let me ask you this, right? Because I used to have this when I was working. I used to go to this deli when I was working at a bank up in Seattle, and they had something they called a chopped steak sandwich,
Ooh, okay.
which was essentially ground beef patties shaped like a hoagie roll, like a sub.
Okay, so was the hoagie roll in the back attached, or like the two faces
No,
of?
like imagine Subway
Uh huh.
with like ground beef
Yeah, no, still, I mean,
patty
but
as an option.
see, my nuance is that is the hoagie roll, is the bun attached on like one axis of it, like in the back,
Oh,
and the
is
long
it cut all the
long
way
wise.
through?
Yeah, kind of like a hot
Is
dog
it
bun.
cut all the way through?
Right,
Uh,
right.
I think it was.
Ooh, that's tough.
Right, so because like Subway, essentially, I guess they don't really cut all the way through, but
Yeah,
like there are
like
delis that cut all the way through their hoagie rolls.
yeah. Okay, okay, fine. I mean, for me, I guess if the bun is not cut all the way through, then technically that's not a burger. I mean, that's
Sure.
pushing it maybe. Okay, so but I was saying that uh, a square bun probably isn't a
Hmm.
burger. Now, what about King Hawaiian roll? Let's say you make sliders with it, right? It's kind of
I
square.
think, but I think, yeah, I think sliders are kind of their own category
Oh
almost.
man, you are tough. Really, sliders are not burgers?
No, I mean I think they're like mini burgers, right?
Okay,
But
okay, okay, okay.
they're as much burgers as like pigs in a blanket are hot dogs.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah, yeah.
Or like those
I don't know. This is
it's
getting
there's
tough.
a distinction, like you make them very similarly, and I would definitely put them in like the burger category, but like to me, like sliders are almost like the bagel bites of burgers, right? Like,
Which are awesome, by the way.
no, I love bagel bites, right? But then, like, would you call bagel bites pizza? Yeah, I guess.
It's a pizza style snack.
Sure. And so sliders maybe, I mean, I would probably say it's a little closer. I wouldn't necessarily call it a burger style snack. It's a burger snack, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad at you if that's what you called it.
I mean, there are also buffalo chicken sliders. I mean, those are not burgers. Those are chicken sandwich style snacks.
Probably.
Yeah, see.
So so in that sense then yeah, no worries.
Yeah, yeah, okay, okay. I mean, well, see, so I think this is how it's so difficult to define what a burger is, but and I think just the two of us, we agree to disagree sometimes, and I'm sure
Sure.
that everybody listening, you have your own definition of a burger, but and that's the beauty of it, burger. I mean, if you think about it, like a pizza is pretty standard, or maybe not, but pretty standard, like round shaped thing with cheese on top and some other mix-ins. Um, it's hard to deviate away from that, as a pizza, but it just seems like burgers. Everybody just tend to not agree on what a burger is, but We all love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of those. I think some of these things, right? Like even maybe with pizza, but definitely with burgers, it's one of those like I kind of know it when I see it, but I can't really describe it to you.
It's a universal. Oh yeah, universal definition or a what is it called? A universal truth, maybe that what a burger is. Now. Okay, I personally never been to India, so I can't confirm for sure. But in India, I've heard in McDonald's there are paneer burgers.
Okay.
Paneer burgers.
Okay.
What's your take on that? I mean, paneer is like kind of like a cheese curd mixture, if you will. I mean, it's not really cheese. It's curded milk, if But
Okay.
what's your take on paneer burger? Is that a burger?
Uh, that's kind of. I'm having a hard time kind of. I'm not super familiar with Indian food, so I'm having a hard time kind of imagining what that's like.
Okay. Well, okay. So I'll try to describe it, right? So yeah, of course, there's the bun, right? Top and bottom. The paneer is like you can imagine the look of it is like the egg patty on your McDonald's sausage McMuffin with egg, right? So it's kind of white
Okay.
like that, and there are it's a little bit chewy, kind of like cheese, right? It's kind
Sure.
of like part tofu, part cheese in terms of texture.
Okay.
Now, again, this is as far as I go. I don't know what other mix-ins are in it. But
Right.
for example, even if we're not talking about the McDonald's product, but someone using paneer as the patty and then using ketchup. Sorry, not ketchup. Using some secret sauce, some lettuce,
I
some
have no
tomato.
objection to it. I'll be honest. From I'm looking
Is
at
that a
some
burger?
pictures online right now on Google. Most of them they look
Uh
like
huh.
the preferred is like they like deep breading it and deep frying it. In which case it
Okay.
looks very much like a filet o fish or a chicken sandwich.
Okay.
So it's hard to say. I'm just off my first gut is at best I would probably treat it like like a Boca burger or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of looks like you know it looks more like a filet o fish or a McChicken than it does
So
like a
you put it in the
burger.
sandwich category.
I probably would. It's very borderline for me right now. Like I'm
Okay,
not gonna
that's
say
fair.
I strongly
That's fair.
stand one way or the other. I mean, what do you think? What would you call it?
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. It's probably a sandwich,
Okay.
like a McChicken or Popeyes. Oh, by the way, that Popeyes chicken sandwich is amazing. But that's a chicken sandwich, right? I wouldn't call it a chicken burger. Even though there's a
Sure.
bun, even though there's the mix-ins, the lettuce, the pickles, if you will. But yeah,
Right.
yeah, I wouldn't call that. I wouldn't call any of those burgers. Um,
Right. Like I feel like once you're right, and maybe this is something that we kind of look at a little more, is just the cooking method. So there's something about that grilling, either be it on a griddle or an open flame or whatever,
okay.
that like that kind of adds to that sort of like what we expect or what kind of defines a burger. Now, I know there's a place in Wisconsin that steams their burgers.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
So,
steam
yeah,
burgers,
I
boiling
I
them.
don't know.
I mean, let's say
But
for example,
I
if you have
feel
a
like
raw
deep
burger,
frying, like
maybe.
I've had a deep fried burger before.
Okay.
Um,
And
but it
what was
just
that
didn't
like?
really feel it didn't feel like a burger as much.
That's getting up there. I mean, that level of nuance is like, well, I mean, are we using a cast iron grill, or are we using open flame, or maybe we're doing? Yeah, I mean,
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And no, I'm definitely not trying to like that sort of thing, but like just kind of like major cooking. If we were to use like major cooking categories, right?
uh huh.
Um, and yeah, maybe I just don't.
Uh,
It's a very fine distinction, but there's something like very different about like a deep fried piece of meat than over.
and hopefully we'll get
Right.
to try that. Maybe one of these, maybe one episode we just try making our own fried burger or something, and then figure it out.
There
Like
is a place in the Bay. I think it's in San Mateo that does do fried burgers. It's called. I think they use. It's called. I think it's called like Karaage Burger or
okay,
something.
okay, kind of a Japanese take on it.
Right, and there's a place in Seattle called Katsu Burger,
Yeah, yeah,
also very Japanese take.
yeah. Seems like so. And Moe's Burger actually is part of a sort of semi Japanese chain too. We talked about it. Like they do rice patty, but yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we're not gonna be able to have a fine definition. But again, the whole thing, the whole premise was, hey, maybe it's like a wall with different parameters or different attributes that constitute a burger. But if you take just enough, enough of the bricks out, then it suddenly becomes a sandwich. That's probably as far as we can push this. Do you agree?
Sure. Yeah, I definitely agree. And I guess my question to you then would be, what are those kind of fundamental attributes? Like, what are if we were to break down a burger, like what are the things we look at or look for?
Truthfully, bun,
Sure.
kind of a roundish bun. Now,
Okay.
again, if it was gonna be like a Dutch crunch or something that's just so happened to be round, yeah, I don't think that counts. I'm still not. I'm not there yet in terms of whether a pretzel bun is a bun, is a burger or not, because some people might consider that. A round croissant, is that a burger? No, it's a breakfast sandwich. But a bun's important, I think.
Okay, let me just throw this out there for you and just kind of we're gonna hit on maybe some sensitive topics for some listeners. Ciabatta,
Yeah.
yes or no?
No.
Okay. I think part of what we're going for with the bun and what it sounds like, if I could just kind of distill it, is there's a certain texture that needs to be in there, right? Like Dutch Crunch and ciabatta tend to be these harder, chewier kind of breads, and we
Right.
want something that's softer and probably less, kind of steals less of the spotlight in some sense.
Let's just go with the good old American, round normal white bread bun. I mean, I think
Okay.
that's probably the yeah, I mean, you can have variations of that, maybe a brioche, but I guess that's a bun. You wouldn't call
Right.
ciabatta a bun.
Right, and where I'm going with that is that there is a sort of like it's kind of you can toast it, but it's still mostly kind of soft and fluffy and holds kind of the burger, and it's not like I don't have to work at it to kind of sink my teeth into it and like pull a piece off kind of thing.
Sure. Okay, what else? What else? What's the essential besides the bun?
Meat,
Meat. What
well,
kind of meat? Come
protein.
on.
We'll say a protein, right? I think a protein of sorts. I would definitely say, ideally, you're looking at some sort of beef,
Okay.
probably ground beef. We can get into whether or not you want chuck or Angus or what the fat content is down the line. But
Okay.
it's everything I've seen in any sort of burger I've had is always being measured against beef.
Okay. Fair enough. So meat, some sort of protein. Any particular shape to that protein?
Uh,
In the shape of a patty.
Yeah, a patty. I mean, circle, square, or ragged edge. Looking at you, Smashburger.
Ooh,
Uh, I think, yeah, just kind of a patty form, right?
which
Like we're
which
not
is
talking meatballs.
which is in essence, well, wow, just keep throwing these curveballs out there. I mean, in essence, it's like meat that's been ground together or somehow formulated together on a flat-ish profile. I'll just say it that way, right?
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
that works.
that's it. Is that it? Is that the essentials?
I think at its very core, that is the simplest you can make a burger.
It's not going to be a good burger.
Now, no, it isn't. Like it's very straightforward, right? And so, like, can you make a decent burger with just that? I mean, yeah, you can get really good beef and you can get good bread. But the other things that I would say would be, and I kind of break it into two categories. One I call fixings, which are like physical objects that you put on top or to go along with the beef, with the patty. So in this case, it would be like pickles, onions, lettuce, tomato, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one would I call condiments or sauces, right? Mayo, mustard, ketchup, special house sauce, special sauce, whatever you want to call it, or
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, we'll probably. I think our next episode is probably going to have to, be what's okay. What are the essential, or at least maybe second tier essentials of a burger in terms of like the sauces or the mix-ins. Maybe we can go into mix-ins. You know.
Sure.
But well, anyway, who knew that we can ramble on about burgers for like almost 45 minutes now, maybe 30 minutes or so. Yeah, this is interesting.
Definitely.
Would
I
you would
mean,
you agree that this is a
I'm
well use of your time talking about burgers?
oh, definitely. But I mean, I might be kind of biased on that. But I think anytime we spend talking about the amazing food that is burgers, is always time well spent.
So hopefully by the next episode we have more crazy burger talk that we can continue to rant on. Yeah, think so.
Sounds good. Definitely. There is still so much to talk about.
Just on burgers alone. We didn't even talk about like different theories of how the universe started. Just kidding. Yeah, burgers is gonna be a major, major topic that I don't think we can finish talking about. So this is Bread and Burgers. It's our first episode. Thank you for listening. I am Jonathan,
And I'm Jonas.
and we will see you next week.
Later.
See ya.
This has been Bread and Butter. Please subscribe if you would love to hear more from Jonathan and Jonas about burgers and all things life.